actually hurt.
No, I think she is.
Yeah, she's hurt. She took a hard fall off there. Boy, gosh, I hope she's okay.
I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
You know, I was just going to finish my thought. No one would ever read your stuff anyways. Hey, welcome in. It's another edition of the Daily Puck Drop. It's a Friday. We welcome you in. Jim Moore is here. We'll get Chris Egan. The PME Show is about to get underway on a Friday.
How about that? Taking a shot at me right out of the gate.
I was just finishing what
look what I'm wearing. I'm promoting your product, your brand, your
I was
podcast.
just finishing what we were discussing before we started, and then before I could finish my sentence, what you said, which was very mean about somebody, I just said, yeah, but I wouldn't read your stuff anyways.
Mean.
Yeah, all right.
I'm not mean.
I
can be mean-spirited sometimes.
You are mean. You're a little mean sometimes. You can be mean. You can be mean and you don't know it. You can be mean, you don't. All right, kiddos, welcome in. Thank you for watching and listening as you always do. Whether it's on YouTube, on Twitter. I know Twitter's been kind of down today on Friday, so I'm not sure if we'll actually be on Twitter today, but who knows? You can always watch us on YouTube as always, and listen live on the PuckSports mobile app. Download it to the your iPhone, iOS store, or Google Play if you've got an Android. As always, we are broadcasting inside the Limback Lumber Studios. They're going to offer you free deliveries, everything from whole house packages to homeowner do-it-yourself projects, largest stock moldings in the Northwest. Old school service. They've been doing it since 1930. Give them a call, 206-782-3487. Visit me at all the social media platforms. Puck Sports everywhere except for TikTok. It's Puck_sports. And be sure to check out PuckSports.com. Hey, become a member of the Pucks Posse. $5, just like Jim. You support all the free stuff we do daily. Plus, you get bonus shows throughout the week, like Tuesdays with Stretchy on the Sports Pit, Wednesdays with Ryan Divish Inside Pitch, and yesterday KJ Arntz with Mitchie. But on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we are joined by the great, the one and only, legendary Seattle Post-Intelligencer reporter, columnist extraordinaire. He made it out of Ketchikan to Seattle. It is Jim Moore. Brought to you by.
Yeah, thanks, Buck. I want to thank Brad Brotherton, as I always do on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Brotherton Cadillac and Shoreline, Brotherton Cadillac and Brotherton Buick GMC in Renton. Come in as a customer and leave as a member of the family. No, you're not going to do that at Brad Brotherton's dealership, okay? You're going to leave as a satisfied customer. You're going to be glad you met Brad Brotherton. You're going to shake his hand, and you're going to get a car, just like my mom and her husband. They bought 4 cars from Brad Brotherton.
Jeez.
So why don't you get down there and check it out, either the location in Shoreline or Renton. Say, go Cougs to Brad, or visit brothertonauto.com.
Brad, I could use a Cadillac. Look at me. Don't I look like a Cadillac driver, Brad? Come on.
Yeah, you look like a Cadillac driver. Well, go down there and say hello to Brad. He'll probably get you one.
Come on, Brad. Let me just drive a Cadillac around town.
Yeah, he probably won't put up your Christmas lights like Brian Turner from A Clean Streak. We love Brian Turner, don't we? Everyone loves Brian Turner.
He's got a sad day when the lights came down last week.
Oh, really sad. I finally took mine down too, and it was a pain, I'll tell you. So why don't you have the guys from Bright Owl Lighting come next year to put the Christmas lights up for you? And in the meantime, have A Clean Streak come by to clean your roof, clean your gutters, pressure wash your driveway. They'll do it all for you. For a free estimate, call 360-395-5748 or visit acleanstreak.com. One more thing before we get to Sam Darnold's injury. I know that's the big news. Oh, come on, Puck. The Angry Beaver. You know you want to go to the Angry Beaver tomorrow,
I
right?
thought you already said the Angry Beaver. Sorry.
No,
go ahead.
You know what's happening? So, okay, 1:30, you got the Broncos Bills. All right. And Matt Baker, by that time, will have a free Jägermeister at your table for you. All right.
Okay.
2:00, you've got the Kraken playing the Utah hockey team. You know what the name of their team is, Puck?
The Mammoth.
I did not know that until today.
Well,
what do you think of that nickname?
It's the reason it's called Puck Sports. We talk a lot of hockey.
Yeah, good Lord. Get Benton on, would you? Get Mike Benton on.
Mike Benton, ladies and gentlemen, from the Rocket Audio Network.
I miss him. And then at 3 o'clock, you can watch Danny Sprinkle's disappointing team against Michigan State. What the hell happened to Danny Sprinkle's recruiting class?
What do you mean, Danny? They played with Michigan the other day. I watched that entire game. It was a good game.
Their record stinks.
Really? And
we're supposed to be a lot better.
Look at the flag over your left shoulder. How are they doing?
Well, I know we suck worse. I know that.
I think I like his team actually in a weird way. But go ahead.
Yeah, we didn't cover against Gonzaga last night.
Didn't cover. Wasn't even close.
Yeah. So anyways, you can watch the Husky. You can see Tom Izzo's coming to Seattle.
Tommy Izzo.
Tom Izzo.
Is Mateen Cleave still there? Is he running point?
No, Mateen Cleave is not there anymore.
You know who's with us today? Not from Michigan State, but from Ohio State. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jackson Smith and Jigba. Although if you probably turn around Chris Egan, first of all, how much? Look at it. Is that 20 pounds? You could look at
20, baby. That's Happy Blue Friday, baby. Hey, Happy Blue Friday, Seahawks Nation.
Hey,
Let's go.
Turn around.
Let's go.
Is that a JSN jersey or is it a Brock Huard disappointing jersey?
You know what? I like to say this is it's a JSN, fits nice, but yeah, I can't lie to you, Puck. This is an original Brock Huard Seahawks jersey.
Let's see. Turn around. Does it say
Huard? Does it say Huard?
There we go. Yeah.
Brock Huard, number 11.
Who knew that Brock Huard would pave the way for Jackson Smith and Jigba?
Yeah.
There you go.
What a day at Husky Stadium with 5 INTs.
Oh, yeah. We like to remind Brock of that every time we see him. Hey, wait. Brock, did you hear that? What? That's another interception.
I hate bringing that up, but I do it anyway because Brock's such a great guy.
He's
a great guy.
He is, but
his partner sucks, but Brock is great.
I mean, a lot of people
would
Jim,
agree.
we're trying to keep
Chris
you out of hot water
say.
for a day. We're trying to keep Jim out of hot water for one day. But who would have known before JSN wore number 11? It was Brock Huard who had it on his back first.
There was somebody else that wore it before Brock, and maybe another quarterback. I think there was a Scab. Remember the Scab years? I thought there was a Scab quarterback that wore it as well.
Huh.
Did JSN have to ask Brock if he could wear the number?
I think JSN, he had to pay Brock because they were going to retire it. Yeah. So he had to pay him.
He had to go on his Jesus podcast. That's what happened.
Hey, wouldn't have Brock been a great quarterback, though, if he hadn't been hurt so often?
You too.
Come on, Chris.
Too.
I'm going to try and make it come back. Wouldn't he have been a good NFL quarterback if he hadn't gotten hurt?
He played in the NFL. What are you talking about?
I know he did, but wouldn't he have been a lot better if he hadn't been hurt?
Well, sure. I think he actually got a bad concussion in a Raiders game. I
remember that game.
Remember that game?
Oh yeah. That was home.
I think every quarterback went out in that game. I think they lost 3 quarterbacks in that game.
I thought he was going to die on the field. He was getting hit so hard. Yeah, he played. I mean, he played. I don't know how many years he played, but yeah, I just love the fact that it's a Brock Huard jersey and not a JSN. It's so good.
From one quarterback to another. Did you two enjoy the media hype yesterday? I mean, I haven't seen it. Like Sam Darnold says he's playing, yet everyone doing stories on this is saying, well, Drew Lock's ready to go. He just said he's playing. Why are we even talking about Drew Lock? Why are we even mentioning Drew Lock?
Because he appeared on the injury report.
Questionable. How many times have we seen somebody be questionable? And everybody's freaking out. Like, he's not going to be playing.
When it first came out, didn't you have that reaction when you heard, like, initially he's questionable? You didn't. You had no worries whatsoever.
No worries at all.
No worries. Such a liar.
He's playing. I didn't freak. Everybody's freaking out like the sky is falling. I mean, come on. He's got an oblique injury. Maybe he woke up and had Jack in the Box. I don't know what happened, but come on. He'll be ready to go. I'm not worried about this. Everybody starts looking at Drew Lock's stats. Because 2 nights ago I had it, Jim, and I woke up with an oblique.
Did you get the deep fried tacos?
No, I got the munchie meal. Well, and that comes with 4 tacos.
Of course, plus a burger and fries.
Yeah.
Jesus, Egan.
That's why this JSN jersey is a little tight today.
Little tight on you. Little Brock's a little tight on you. Well, I think once you heard him speak, then yeah, you're like, okay.
You felt better, right? Yeah.
But when initially, like when I heard it and saw it, I'm like, oh, he's questionable with an oblique injury. I'm like, oh my God, really? Like that just doesn't happen. That's a late week injury. And who knows? And again, the whole injury report thing's weird anyways. I was talking to Condotta about it, and Condotta is coming on the show later today. We always tape in the morning. And he said, even if you miss one rep that you would normally take, that you have to be listed questionable.
You could be put,
And you can be put on.
And there's also the gamesmanship here of coaching. Now, are the 49ers coaches forced to spend 2 hours on tape looking more at Drew Lock? Are they going to spend an extra 2 hours looking at special packages for Jalen Milroe, who may, who was the one at practice who was just fired up yesterday, ready to go? Because all of a sudden now he's just possibly one snap away. Hopefully it's still 2 snaps. So maybe there's something to be said that maybe they throw something the 49ers away that they've got a game plan for something they didn't want to game plan against. Who knows? I think he'll be there, though.
Well, I think he will be too, but I'm with Softy on this one. I wasn't with Softy last
Who?
week.
What? Did you just?
Who?
I wasn't with him last week.
Who? The one that you guys are arguing and screaming like 2-year-olds at on social media? You guys
I don't know if he's resumed his love affair with Damon Williams yet or not. I'm assuming he probably has, but in the meantime,
all is forgotten now with Damon. It's listen, I don't wish bad things to happen to his family, and I don't think Damon Williams is a colossal prick anymore. Go ahead.
No. I know. At the Apple Cup, all of this will be forgotten.
You think when he interviews Damon Williams for the first time? Hey, pal, thanks for jumping on. Hey, I don't know if you saw it, pal, on social media, but I called you a colossal prick, and I wished your family would, I don't know, get injured. I'm sorry about that, pal, but hey, go Dogs.
No, what I was going to say before you took over and trashed Softy for me. He tweeted yesterday, and we know as reporters, they don't generally have a guy there at the podium at the VMAC on the stage if the player is actually injured and not going to play. And Sam Darnold talked to everybody yesterday about it. Oh,
God, I thank you that you had Softy point that out to us, because Egan and I, who have been in this business for 30 years, had no idea that was the fucking policy. But now that you Softy tweeted it, wow.
Okay, listen, dickhead. There might be some listeners out there that didn't know that. Okay.
Egan, were you aware of that?
I know that you're aware of it. I know I'm aware of it. I know that Chris is aware of it. All the reporters are aware of it. Even the gal down in Jacksonville that said, "Oh, Liam, you did such a great job." She's aware of it. But there might be listeners who aren't aware of it. Somebody on the chat room support me, would you?
No,
Jim, you're right. I wasn't aware of that.
No, this is why the PME is the best half an hour in the world. But guys, as you sit in your bunkers tomorrow, as you just continue to take shots at all of our colleagues out there in the PR staff, I have to actually go and see all these people tomorrow.
By the way, Aaron Levine's appearing on Jeopardy again, so you don't want to miss that.
What, he is again?
Yeah, the Champions Jeopardy.
Oh, nice. When's that air?
I'll get my scatter gun out and just, kind of spray
it
everywhere.
And Jim, Paul Sylvie and I will be on Wheel of Fortune here coming up in a couple of weeks. So.
I was just watching Wheel of Fortune this week. Boy, she's still on it, huh?
She's still going strong.
What's Ryan Seacrest doing hosting that thing? Doesn't he have enough money, enough gigs going on?
I know. How many gigs can one person get? I'm like, is it Seacrest or Mario Lopez? Who gets to host the show?
I mean, God, Vanna, just retired. You don't need any more money. Why are you doing this? Be done. Great number 11s in Seahawks history. I was correct. That was the scab year 1987. Okay. Bruce Matheson. Remember him?
Oh, Bruce.
Kelly Stauffer wore 11.
That's who I couldn't remember. That was it.
Remember Kelly Stauffer? He was supposed to be good.
Yeah. He was.
Colorado State? What was he?
What was Stauffer? Portland State?
No.
I want to say was he Portland State?
I think it's Portland State.
I think I'm right on Colorado State.
I think he was a Viking.
I'll bet you $50 you're wrong.
I think he was a Portland State Viking.
No, but we got 50 on something, don't we? Oh, I have Miami in 8.5, right?
8.
Oh, 8. Okay.
Get it right. BJ Daniels wore 11. Percy Harvin wore 11. Jermaine
Percy
Curse at one point, his first year wore 11. Who else? That's about it. Sebastian
Janikowski. I don't think Jason had to go to Percy Harvin or Curse. He had to go to Brock Huard.
He had to go to Brock. Yeah, I wonder what he got from Brock.
Kelly Stauffer, Colorado State.
Oh, Jim.
You should have bet
Pac-12 member. Pac-12 member.
Boom, Jim.
Go Rams.
I think JSN got a lifetime pass to the Puyallup Fair from Brock Huard. Like in what's the bougie section?
Oh, they've redone it. Yeah, there's a nice little area where
what's
you can go up there and drink.
Yeah.
You look down on everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, you say, look at that calf tattoo. Look at that calf tattoo. Look at that guy's jerseys wearing.
Okay,
yeah.
So back to Sam. Am I wrong that I'm not concerned at all? Are you two? I mean, with this oblique, is there any concern from you two?
I thought that, I think there's reason to be concerned, but not overhyped and overreaction. I don't think there's that, but why would they bring it up? And why would Drew Lock take snaps at practice yesterday more than he usually takes? I don't think it's just nothing to be concerned about. And then, okay, let's say he's okay and he's going around with one of those Theraguns or whatever and trying to work it out, whatever the kinks are. So what about the first hit he takes or second hit, third hit, whatever?
I'm going to go get my Theragun while Puckett is doing
go
his
get a
thing.
Theragun.
I'll be right back.
You use it nightly. I'm not concerned now, but I'm going to be interested to see him on like his first throw or two. I guess that would be the only thing. Like if he aggravated it with the throw, that's what he said, right? He said he aggravated it with throwing. I just think, he can re-aggravate it during the game on a throw. It certainly was enough to say, hey, I need to not practice anymore.
Here, let me be the Seattle. Yeah. Let me be the Seattle media for you guys for a second. Oh my God! Breaking news! Breaking news! Sam Darnold's got a massage gun on
God,
his
I hope you have
arm.
egg on your face. Like,
you know what?
Okay, the thing about Darnold.
No, but listen, Jim. I tuned in last night to King 5. You know what their number one story was right off the bat? It was Sam Darnold's injury.
Yeah, I was. I wasn't working last.
That was like the lead story of the whole newscast.
Like I think Copeland's lead story was it. So stop it.
This feels good, guys. Have you ever used one of these barrel guns?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put that away. No, I know it's a big deal. I mean, it's the biggest game of the season. Blue Friday's going crazy. Place is going to be packed. This is what everybody wants to talk about.
You don't see Blue Friday much anymore, do you?
No, it's not as big.
That's not a thing anymore. Which
I'm trying to get it back.
Why is that?
I'm going to raise my hand and say thank you.
You don't like Blue Friday?
You're done.
I always thought it was.
You think Blue Fridays jumped the shark?
Yeah, it was a little much. I thought.
Why?
No, I don't know. It was just kind of goop. Blue Friday, show your pride, and wear your Seahawks gear.
That's cool.
Only on
Friday. I like seeing the 12 flag on top of the Space Needle.
Is it up there now?
Yeah, they had Walter Jones, I think, raise it. How did he?
I bet Walt doesn't like that. Ladder. Yeah. What are you trying to say? That Walt's too fat to climb the ladder? You talking about us taking shots?
Hey, should guys like Walter Jones, who didn't talk to the media when he was a player, allowed to be in the media once he's out of football?
Yeah. Are people that can't work a microphone allowed to do a podcast? I don't know.
Chris, we had issues yesterday on the Old Crimson podcast, and it was, again, it's Jim's issue. It's Jim's fault, even though Jim hooks it up the same fucking way every fucking time.
Jim, no joke. I'm at the Costco in Fife, and I'm in the meat area, and a guy comes up to me.
Boy,
and goes,
I am real curious what the Fife Costco is like.
It's not bad. It's like one of those executive for businesses only Costco's.
Okay.
And they've got a nice big meat section that I went back, and the guy literally stops me. He goes, Egan, I literally had to stop my car and get out and pee my pants when Jim Moore was doing the podcast from a Starbucks.
Oh, that was the best one. That was the best one.
I know in hindsight that wasn't my best
Oh.
move, but I was actually trying to be a good teammate and trying to find a quiet space to do it from.
That was the
Starbucks
best
at
one.
Madras. Yeah.
And remember the echo? The echo was so bad.
Yeah.
When somebody was waiting to get in.
Just a knocking on the door. Hello. I would like to use the bathroom.
Oh my.
Hey, are you wearing I didn't know we normally, Jim and I don't go political on the show, but Chris has got a USA hat on because he supports us taking over Greenland. So I don't know.
No, it's actually just
Jesus.
it's the country we live in.
So Chris texted me earlier. He wants 5 minutes on why we need Greenland.
No, just I'm wearing it to support the USA athletes that are getting ready for the Olympic Games, which are coming up. Which
Where
you can
can
only
I watch those, by the way?
You can only watch those on King 5, the Big 5. Shout out Mike and Debbie McLeod, who had me over to their house yesterday. Their son Cooper. Cooper grew up skating in the Burlington area. His dad went to Burlington High. His mom went to Mount Vernon. He went to Juanita, and he made the long track Olympic team. So shout out to Cooper. We'll probably wear his T-shirt next Friday night as we get here. So
who's our best local athlete with the the greatest shot to win bronze, silver, or gold?
Great question, Jim. I think a young lady by the name of Corinne Stoddard. She does the short track speed skating. That's what Apollo Ono and J.R. Selski did. And she grew up, started at Tiffany's. It was a man by the name of Dennis King that got her into roller skating. Then she went to Patterson's West in Federal Way. And she is one of the fastest in the world right now in speed skating. So she'll be doing 3 events, and she's got a good shot to come out of there with 3 medals.
Why are we so good at this? Why is this area so good at speed skating?
Well, there's several factors. Back in the day, you had the Patterson's West teams, the Tiffany's teams, which were inline skating, which transforms to the ice nicely. But there was a coach in Tacoma, Coach Lee, who is one of the best in the world. And he's had a hand on a lot of these athletes over the years. And he's worked with a lot of them. And basically, though, the way it works is you get good at inline, you move to the ice. And then if you become a possible Olympic candidate, you basically move to Utah and you train down there 7 days a week. And that's what a lot of them have done. So we've got 3 of them: Eunice Lee from Bellevue, Corinne Stoddard from Federal Way, Cooper McLeod from Kirkland. They're going to be all in the speed skating. So, Jim, they've got our best chance. There's a young lady, Jacqueline Wiles, who grew up skiing at White Pass. It's just an incredible story. She's probably had, I'm not exaggerating here, 16 to 18 surgeries over the last 10 years. And she just took a bronze on a World Cup event, and this is kind of her last go. And her and Lindsey Vonn are very, very close. So if somehow she could get on this Olympic team and medal, it would just be an incredible story. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of them. There's going to be, and hey, the best, I'm going to say this, wearing my USA hat with pride. We interviewed the Torrent players yesterday. Hillary Knight, the face of U.S. women's hockey.
Hold on. Hey, Jim, that's the women's professional hockey team.
I know that.
But Hillary Knight,
Seattle Times had it above the fold that one day. That's how I know that.
That's how you know. Hillary Knight, just an incredible ambassador to women's hockey. She plays for Seattle. But at the end of the interview, I said, anything else besides hockey you like to do? And she's like, oh yeah, Chris, we know about you. We're working on our pickleball game a little bit. My mom's an avid pickleball player, so shout out, and that's gonna be fun, Jim. You love a good story, you love a good rivalry. U.S. versus Canada in women's hockey and men's hockey. Get ready for that. That's gonna be fun.
Awesome. Yeah. One last thing on the Olympics, Chris. You got any potential Tanya Hardings coming out of Portland this year?
Yeah.
To spice things up in the figure
anybody that's
world?
got take out somebody else.
Yeah, and you know what? The U.S. has got some good speed skaters, so who knows? They're going to be battling for gold, so anything can happen. So we'll be right there for it in case it does.
Nice answer, Chris.
Hey, is the one guy who's the guy? what's Penske and who's the other one? Or who are the figure skating announcers?
Tara Lipinski
And who's the other
Johnny
guy?
and Johnny Weir.
Oh yeah, I love it. Are they back?
Johnny Weir.
I think they're back. Yeah,
Oh
they're back.
god, great. I could watch them all the time. And does Snoop got a role on the Olympics?
Snoop is back in the Olympics.
Is there Snoop
got-
overkill, or is it just me?
I don't mind him. I don't mind him once in a while.
Did you hear him?
He had a bowl game named after him this year.
I know.
And he was on the NBA. He's on some of the broadcasts. He was on it the other night, last week.
The one that's going to be working a little extra is Mike Tirico. He's basically going to be calling the He'll be calling the Super Bowl and flying back to Italy that next morning.
Tirico is unbelievable. All right, so what happened? What are you going to do? What's your prediction for Saturday? Are you there at the stadium?
I will be there. I'll be there for the pregame, for during the game, and I got to head back to King 5 and anchor all the late shows. So I'll be there. Paul Sylvie and I are going to be doing a streaming preview show and then a post-game show on King 5 Plus.
You guys probably getting paid extra for that?
No, we're not, Bug. And then. But who knows, guys?
Is this like the old school? Chris, is this like the old school when you, speaking of Brock, which was one of my favorite shows, and I think you should bring
the Phone Zone?
Oh, I love the Phone Zone. Phone Zone was sensational. Is it going to be like that? Can I call in?
It's going to be kind of like the Phone Zone. It really will be. It's funny. You look back at Northwest Cable News, they were actually ahead of their time.
Yeah.
What are all the TV stations trying to do now? They're trying to stream and go 24/7. We had that. I mean, we had NWCN, but
there's some big stars that came out of Northwest.
Brock Huard, Dave Wyman. The Chris Gray year wasn't a great show. But,
Gray was a little dry. Wasn't Jen Mueller on that?
Jen Mueller. Ryan Roland Smith made his broadcast debut.
Sure.
On that network as well. Cisco Morris, he's a gardener. I don't know if you guys know him.
Of course I know who Cisco Morris is. Come on. Who doesn't know who Cisco Morris is?
We had also, Jim, a news reporter named Jason Puckett, and sometimes that would get confusing because Jason.
He wasn't there though, wasn't he? Wasn't he in DC that you would use him?
He was a national guy. A national guy.
I sent a cease and desist letter to him. Stop using my name. Come up with your own name. So you think they win comfortably tomorrow?
I don't think comfortably, guys. No, I don't. I think. What do we know about big stars? When you look at sports history, big stars find a way to step up. Christian McCaffrey, I think, is going to have a decent game tomorrow. He's going to come close to ending that 100-yard rushing. 26 straight games. The Seahawks have not allowed a 100-yard rusher. I think they're going to it's going to be a lot of Christian McCaffrey tomorrow. This is a guy with 10 rushing touchdowns, 7 receiving touchdowns during the regular season. Yes, the Seahawks have done great against them twice, but stars find a way to step up. And I think he's going to have a big game. I still think the Seahawks just have too much talent on that defense. They're going to just continue to wear them down. And I think Seahawks are going to win, but I don't think it's going to be comfortable, Puck. I think this is going to be a close game tomorrow.
Is the big dumper raising the flag?
We don't know yet. Yeah, that's kind of the mystery right now. I mean, I've heard people say Pete Carroll. That's not. I don't think that's happening.
I'd sign up for that. Yeah, Pete Carroll.
So Richard Sherman would be good.
Sure, I think Sherman and Malcolm Smith would be a fun little combo to bring up there. But reenact the tip play. Yeah, reenact the tip play. And before I go, boys, I want to just a shout out. I know my son's on the team, but last night at Rogers High School, it was a pretty cool thing. The head coach Connie, and the Rogers boys brought out a Rogers student, Taylor Futch, at the age of 9. And I know this is near and dear to your heart with a Cougar great that has battled ALS. But at the age of 9, Taylor was diagnosed with ALS. She is now a junior at Rogers High School. She just keeps fighting. She keeps battling. They had her come out on the court last night with the game ball. She presented the game ball to the referee. Rogers ended up winning a thrilling game last night. And then all of a sudden, all the players took that game ball, signed it, and they brought her back on the court and gave her the game ball. And it was just a pretty cool moment. You know, I think we get so stuck in sports, like oh, look at Tyron Stokes dunk it again. Look at Tyron Stokes dunk it again. And I think sometimes we lose, and I'm a victim of that. I've been to many Rainier Beach games to watch this kid play, but there's other stories out there, and it was great
when I
to
saw
see
that
the Rogers
yesterday.
kids.
I didn't think that ALS can inflict someone that young.
Yeah, at the age of 9, it's just crazy. And she's, what? Credit to her entire family, and for just keep on fighting. And she had the big smile on her face last night. Got the game ball.
Is there like a support page or anything, Chris? Do you know off the top of your head?
There could be. I typed in her name last night after talking to her dad, and it looks like through the years that a lot of people have come together to help this family. I think there was a house that was built to kind of help support her and things like that. But I'm sure the family just continues to need help if people are willing to give it. So
that's beautiful what they did last night for her.
Yeah,
and I had
really
a buddy
nice.
up in Ketchikan that died from ALS, and to see what the family goes through too, not just the person who's going through it. It's heartbreaking. So good for Rogers for what they did last night.
Yeah, absolutely. You brought him up. I was one of many thousands in attendance last night at Rainier Beach in O'Day. Got there at 5:30 for the JV game.
It looked packed.
Oh, you couldn't. There was not a place. There wasn't a seat to be had last night at that gym in Rainier Beach, which is the most beautiful gym I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And it's, people were lined up on the walls. Josh Connerly was there. I believe I saw Cliff Averill, was there. Just a real who's who. And boy, that game did not disappoint. I mean, It was phenomenal. You want to watch like high level defense being played? Jesus.
Wait a minute. You believe Cliff was there? I mean, didn't you work with him? I mean, didn't you see him often enough?
No, he was there off in the distance, and Cliff was there.
Cliff's got a son. Cliff's got a son who's a pretty good basketball player. So he's
and O'Day hit a 3 with like 6 seconds to go to tie it, and then Beach. Then for some reason O'Day wanted to press, and they beat it easily.
Yeah, looked like he was wide open on that press. But,
and scored with 1 second to go. It just was a great game. Watching those two teams go at it, which is just
how was you were there? How was Kerr and Bethea? I've heard in the past those.
Good. Yeah, they didn't go at each other like they normally do, but I thought Jason Kerr, who's the longtime head coach of O'Day, head was going to explode throughout the night, yelling at multiple officials.
What was the sweatsuit color of choice for the Rainier Beach coaches last night?
No, just the black tracksuits. The
black tracksuits. Yeah. Okay.
It is crazy to go there. I was just pointing out to my son and then his buddy over there. You just start looking and we've talked about this before, in the rafters, and you look at the names.
Oh,
I mean, it's just my kid who loves basketball is like, Roderick Stewart played here. Yeah, and that's his brother, Lodrick. There's Doug Christie, and there's Jabal, and there's Nate Robinson, and
DeJounte Murray.
DeJounte Murray, and there's Terrence Williams, and then Josh Connerly is up there for basketball and football, and then Olivier Tamu was there. He played for the Steelers. Like, it is just, you're kind of blown away when you look at like all of their basketball players that are up there, and I probably have left someone off.
Well, look up the name if you get a chance. He never played in the NBA, but he was on the state championship team, and he played with Jamal Crawford. His name is Phil Heath, and he's probably a bigger star than any of them. He's a worldwide bodybuilder, and he's got millions of followers. And Phil Heath, look him up. The guy is just he's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he's a former Rainier Beach basketball player, and he played with Jamal. And the best thing is, this guy could be around millions of people at some big bodybuilding show or thousands of people. And if you mention Rainier Beach, he'll stop whatever he's doing just to talk about the good old times.
It's just it's really fun to go in there. Just you see the basketball legacy of that school, and clearly O'Day has had great teams as well.
Do you guys know the story of Bethea? We almost lost him during the COVID. He was in the hospital.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was in the hospital, Jim, and he was on a respirator ventilator and was not looking good. And his wife got into that hospital. They got him off it and got him out of there, and he survived. So
good guy and a heck of a coach.
Great guy.
He's a really good guy.
They all are. Before you go. Next Tuesday, or this Tuesday, big day, Hall of Fame will be announced in baseball. Okay. No one's talking about this yet, as much because we're all caught up in Seahawks glory right now. But Felix Hernandez right now,
The king.
the king is trending 57.4% right now on the ballot.
King.
Okay, he got 20% last year. Now he's not going to get 75% this year, but he's trending in the right direction as Felix Hernandez. He's making a huge jump for 20% to nearly 60% from the 1 year to the next. What's encouraging about Felix, as Egan's got the Theragun out,
I'm listening.
first-time voters have had him on their ballot 77%. So good news there for Felix. So I'll be curious to see where he ends up. Yeah.
Who's gonna get in on this class?
Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones.
Okay.
Yeah. Good class.
Hey, don't hit the breaking news alert, Puck. I'll be all right. I'm gonna be at work tomorrow.
You better warm up Sylvie. Well, Sylvie doesn't work on the weekends other than doing.
You know what? I'm worried. You know what, guys? After this show, I'm actually worried. When you think about the oblique muscle and you got to throw the ball.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a little concerning.
Yeah. See, you jinxed it. All right, Egan. We'll be checking you out. Hey, tell everyone pre and post game show. Where can they find you and Sylvie again?
King 5 Plus. Just go to your app and download for free.
You nailed it. All right. Good luck with Greenland.
U.S. athletes, buddy. Nice try.
There he is, Chris Egan, the PME Show. Egan with us every single Friday. You know what? We can get into this story a little bit with our handicapper, Troy Wins, if we want to. Now, we normally don't talk stories with Troy. We usually just do the games, and he's got great games. We're going to pick all the NFL games and then the national title game. But I assume you've read this point shaving story in college basketball.
Guys, it like Towson and
that's
I forget the other schools.
The best part are these schools involved. Towson, Duquesne. What's the other one? Fordham.
Puck? Is it along the lines of the player prop stuff that we talked about?
Yeah, it's along those lines. We can talk about it with our handicapper Troy Wins, who's with us here. Troy joins us every Friday. He gives his picks on all the games coming up this weekend. And Troy, we were just talking about this point shaving scandal in college basketball. 39 players, 17 teams in college basketball, and also it affects the Chinese basketball league as well. Which is just great. And it's along the lines of the prop bets. Troy, I gotta think at some point these leagues, college and the pros, are probably going to try and do some type of regulation with these prop bets and maybe try to eliminate them.
I would think so. I heard, this is the obvious one, right? Make it so you can't bet the unders on the props, right? You have to bet the overs. That would solve everything right there, right? So that's the obvious fix. Will they do that? I don't know. But I would think, like you said, these are just the guys getting caught, which makes you wonder how many guys out there aren't getting caught and how much of this is going on. And you would think, as much as we've seen people get caught, it would come to an end, but it doesn't seem to scare people, especially those small college kids that probably aren't getting NIL money either. So.
Yeah, that was the thing. They weren't getting NIL money, but they were getting paid a lot to fix the games, like $40,000.
Yes,
and for them, for $40,000 for them is a lot. So
it adds up. And I wonder, you wonder who the guys are forking out the $40,000. Are these mafia guys? Or these guys at the Tulalip Casino? I don't know. Might be the tribe. Might be the tribal guys. For all we know.
Well, we'll edit that part out, Troy.
That's right.
we would gladly take any other money. All right, let's get to the games. Before we get to the NFL games, the playoffs, and then the national championship game, someone's like, hey, I need advice for the games this weekend. TroyWins.com. They go there. What are they going to get? Give them the spiel. How are you going to help them out?
Yeah, well, guys, we're cooking right now, as I like to say. We're in the kitchen cooking up some bets, and we've been hot as of late. Had a big play last night on the Seattle U Redhawks, taking care of -9.5 against San Diego. But guys, get to the Instagram. It's Troy West. We've got an entire prop division. You mentioned prop bets. We've actually just launched this division. We've got a guy that is like an analytical nut that is diving into these props each and every day. It's TroyWins.com, $99. That includes everything. And I truly feel if you're going to be a sports bettor, the 99 is a great way to get in the door and let us help you out. Let us help explain different gambling terms. We're willing to help. It's TroyWins.com.
Okay. All right, let's jump into the games, and then we'll, of course, get your lock of the week and then our lock of the week. Let's first start in the AFC. And at Mile High, I'm not sure they call it Mile High anymore, but it's always will be Mile High to us. The Broncos favored by 1.5 over Josh Allen and the Bills.
I went back and forth on this one, and after watching the Bills last week, they looked good again, but I am going with Denver. Better coach, better defense, and better defense by a mile, and they're at home. I get it. You don't want to bet against Superman, but give me the Broncos minus 1.5. I just think they're the better overall team. They're rested. They're at home. Give me the Broncos.
All right, we got the big one tomorrow night at Lumen Field. The Seahawks are giving 7 to the 49ers. I thought maybe the line would go down even more than that because of the Sam Darnold injury. So this indicates that even Vegas thinks it's not serious with Darnold.
You watched last week, and I was shocked. I was beyond shocked that they ended up winning that game last week against the Philadelphia Eagles. I just think this 49er team is so beat up. The season was on the line 2 weeks ago at home. Seahawks won 13-3 and really struggled in the red zone. I love the Seahawks in this one. I really do. I think they win this by double digits. 28-14. Give me the Seahawks.
Temperatures in Chicago, they're saying like around 12, but dropping down to 7. There's a chance of snow. Not good if you're the LA Rams, but they come into the game, Troy, having, of course, beat Carolina, but favored by 3 over Chicago.
Yeah, they've been a tricky team to handicap this year because you just don't know what you're getting from the Rams. But I think they are they're the much better team in this game. I get Stafford's record in the cold isn't great, but I think Stafford's going to have a heyday against that secondary. Give me the Rams in a big way, actually. I think they win this one handedly, 31-20.
All right, boy, the Patriots really impressed me against the Chargers. I know Justin Herbert's probably glad that he's watching the game on Sunday instead of playing against that Patriot defense. They're favored by 3 over the Texans.
I'm going with the Patriots again. Had them last week. Love them again this week. That Texans defense, I get it. It's going to be a major test for Drake May. But boy, how bad did C.J. Stroud look on Monday night? I mean, the guy could hardly grip the football. Now he's got to go into colder weather, into Foxborough. I like New England in this one. I think they handle this game 20-13.
National championship game will take place Monday night in Miami, so it's a home game for the Hurricanes. However, big underdogs, Indiana favored by 8.
Yeah, the line just keeps jumping. Opened at 7, it's gone to 8. Some places have it at 8.5. I'm going with the Hoosiers. Guys, we're not talking about this team as one of the greatest college teams that we've ever seen. I mean, look at the last 3 games. They've beaten Ohio State, Oregon, Alabama, all 103-36. They outscored those opponents. This team's really good. I don't believe in Miami. Give me Indiana in a big way, 35-17.
Preseason, the Hurricanes were 30-1 to win the national championship. Do you guys know what Indiana was?
I would say 45-1. That's a guess.
100-1?
100-1. They have the same odds as USC, Nebraska, Florida State, and Texas Tech. Here are teams that had better odds, I think like 85-1. Arizona State, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Louisville, and SMU. So Indiana, can you imagine if you got Indiana in the beginning of the season at 100-1?
That's interesting. And I saw a great stat. Other than the Rams as well, the teams left in the NFL are all teams that had 30-40-1 odds. You look at the Patriots, the Seahawks, the Bears, the Texans. I mean, all had 30-41. I'm usually the guy that looks at it and goes, they have no chance. They have no chance. And here we are in the NFL playoffs with a lot of teams. Only one quarterback left that's got a Super Bowl, and that's Matthew Stafford. Pretty impressive.
All right, let's get to lock of the week. Who do you got, Troy?
Guys, I went back and forth with the Seattle game and the Denver game. I'm going with Denver, though. At home, again, better coach. I absolutely love this team. Give me the Denver Broncos minus 1.5. I just think they're putting way too much emphasis in the line with Josh Allen. That defense is good. That defensive line is good. Denver's my lock of the week.
Okay, Jim and I.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Puck.
No, you go ahead.
No, because I'm just interjecting something that I shouldn't be interjecting, but I'm going to do it anyway. The next person that comes through that door behind you, can you motion to him to come over and ask him what they think of your lock of the week? I think that'd be kind of fun.
I will.
Okay. All right.
Do that.
Do you like Denver? All right, Jim and I are both tied at 5 and 6 because for some reason he took the Jags last week. at plus 1.5.
The Jags were right there.
And the Bills won 27.
Troy, somebody's going through the door.
24.
I know.
Hey, excuse me, sir.
Come on, that'd be fun. That would add to
If it's
the
Chuck
entertainment
Powell, I
value.
will. If it's Chuck Powell, I will. He'd like to say hi to you.
I had the Bears plus 1.5 last week. All right, Jim, what's your lock of the week?
I don't care. I want Indiana to win because I like the story. I think it's great. You know, it gives teams like ours hope for the future. Maybe the Cougs could do what Indiana's doing. But I'm going with Miami because I did that AI thing where I said percentage of bets on Indiana and Miami. Indiana's got 84% of the betting public betting on them.
Okay.
And you know what that means, Troy. Come on, man. The public's always wrong. I'm going with Miami plus the 8.
All right.
Hurricanes getting the 8, but with Indiana winning. I'm going to go the under 45.5 in the Seahawks and 49ers game.
I like
the
that
under
pick.
45.5. All right. TroyWins.com. Yeah, really? It's a great.
It's
a
too
good pick.
obvious.
It does look obvious. But
Thank you,
I
Troy.
can't. I think 24-13 is still a winner.
You know
I think
how
Puck
often
hates that public's
you know,
wrong stuff.
you know how often he's been wrong on the public is wrong bit.
Hey, was I right about Kelly Stauffer?
The public
were right,
did go.
yes.
The public went 6-0 last week. Every game last week in the NFL, the public
Shocker.
hit.
Yeah, but the
Shocker.
public generally sucks, Troy.
Oh, well, I guess
That
they
is
really
true.
sucked last week when
That's
they
why
were
they're
6
building these huge casinos, you know.
6-0. They're building the casinos because people are betting left and right. That's why they're building the casinos. All
No
right.
lie.
TroyWins.com. They go there. They get.
They get everything, guys. $99, 30 days. You're going to get prop bets. You're going to get all of VIP picks. You guys are going to get golf picks. We got Sony picks, guys. The Sony next week.
Did
will
you have
be,
Nick Taylor?
we'll-
You got Nick Taylor this week?
No, I
I
don't.
should
I
have
don't.
taken Nick Taylor
Nick
and
Taylor
Russell
seems
Henley.
to show up in these. I know.
I'm
Hey,
not
next
going to
week's-
overthink it next year. I'm just going to pencil in Russell fucking Henley. Just
I know.
move on.
I'm with you. I'll be at the American Express next week. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a good one.
Ooh,
I'll be there. Remember last year we did the show from the American Express.
sure do.
We
No,
did.
I don't remember that.
Well,
Please,
you don't
Jim,
remember
you're getting old.
yesterday, so
I don't kid.
you don't
I'm just
remember.
being a dick,
You
Troy. I
don't remember
love
if you
man.
ate yesterday or today.
No, I remember eating.
Isn't
I had ice
Scheffler?
cream before bed last night. It was
Isn't
beautiful.
Scheffler making his debut?
Yes, he is. Yeah, Zalatoris is playing. That's a pretty good field. Pretty
It's
good
been a
field,
better
you know?
field of late for some
Yeah, it has.
reason.
It
Yeah,
has.
it's gotten better and better. Nick Taylor is leading right now. They haven't started round 2, but at 8 under. Yeah, just always go pencil in Nick Taylor and Russell Henley every year for the Sony Open.
No
All right,
lie.
Troy,
No lie.
appreciate it as always. Have fun watching and betting on the games this weekend, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you, Jim. See you guys.
See you, Troy.
Again, TroyWins.com is the website for all of your betting needs. Yeah. Okay. Who'd you
All right,
take
you want
this
my
weekend,
last
Paul?
thought on the Seahawks game?
I want your last thought on the Seahawks game. Yes.
All right. I think you're going to like this, and I think Seahawks fans will too.
Okay.
Let's say that Drew Lock has to play and that Darnold gets hurt in the first quarter. So then you automatically think, oh man, that's a big drop off
Sure.
from Darnold to Drew Lock. But don't you find typically in sports in the short term that the rest of the team knows that and they have to suck it up and be
Yeah.
at their absolute best to compensate for the starting quarterback being out? And it's not like, Drew Lock is that bad. So I think they're still going to be okay if Lock plays, is what I'm trying to get
It's
at.
not that bad, but I think this game this weekend, I think what's going to be interesting about it is the psychological kind of back and forth for both teams. And I think the one area I think you should be worried a little bit with San Francisco, despite you beat them 2 weeks ago and you handled them the way you did, is the fact that you handled them 2 weeks ago. There's a lot of pride over on that team. There's a lot of players that played in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. There's a lot of pride on that coaching staff. They've got good players despite all the injuries. And so I think there's gonna be some extra motivation coming on that field tomorrow night. And
Yeah, they were embarrassed.
yes, and I think Seattle's got to be on the guard on that one because they're coming off, being off for 2 weeks. I'm not saying they're not pushing out their chests a lot and talking about how great they are, but again, everyone expects them to win. And win fairly easily. They're the number 1 seed. They're expected to go to the Super Bowl. There are no expectations for San Francisco. 0. They're lucky to be here. They're fortunate to be here. It's a surprise that they're here. I think that Seattle's got to guard against that, especially in the first quarter and first half.
Well,
Because
and
the
then-
longer you let them hang around, the more confidence that team's going to have. Try to bury them as fast as you can.
It's easier to buy into the fact that they're a 6 seed and, they beat a Philadelphia team that wasn't very good offensively.
Yeah.
So things were set up for them to pull off that upset. But before that Seattle game started 2 weeks ago, they were, just 60 minutes away from being the 1 seed themselves. And I know it didn't work out for them,
Right.
fortunately, but it's not like this is some bad team coming in here.
And
You're right. A proud team, especially if you let them hang around in the fourth quarter. They're already gonna feel like they're gonna win right down to the final
Sure.
horn. But the Seahawks might get in that mode of like, oh shit, man, we might blow this, and we just blew these guys out. But they didn't blow them out; they only won by 10. But it was like a blowout.
But it felt that way. I understand what you're saying, and I just think the longer you let them hang around, and no 2 games are ever similar, are they? I mean, look at the Rams' first game compared to the second Rams-Seahawks game. It's totally different games. One was a defensive battle, low scoring. Next one's a shootout. They're going to have some game plan coming up tomorrow that's going to be vastly different. I think we can all speculate and guess that Robert Saul and that crew is going to come out blitzing the shit out of Sam Darnold because they're going to be like, you know what? If you can't beat us running the ball again like you did last time, we're going to make Sam Darnold beat us.
Yeah, well, that's what you have to do. That's a strategy, isn't it? I mean, you're not going to want Ken Walker or Charbonneau to be beating you like they did last time.
Yeah, and Shanahan's just a real good coach. I mean, he really should get a lot of consideration and honestly should be the coach of the year of everything they've had to go through with all their injuries. And I just think, a fluky turnover changes the game. And, I know they should win. It will be a major failure and disappointment if they don't win tomorrow. It just will be. It's not going to say you can look back on the season and still have fun on the season, but it's a massive failure, and you can even call it a choke job if they don't win tomorrow. It just is.
I'll go with your massive failure, but I wouldn't go so far as to call it a choke job, though.
I mean, they
would be the first.
Seed.
They would be the first Seahawks team with the 1 seed that didn't make it to the Super Bowl.
I think if you told me this was a healthy Niners team, and they had Bosa and they had Warner and they had all those, then no. But they don't have those guys. It will be inexcusable if they lose tomorrow. It really will be. Next week, whoever they play, they don't win. Well, actually, yeah. If they don't win next week, okay, fine. I don't think anybody thought they'd make it to the championship game. But tomorrow, yeah, that'd be real, real disappointing. That would be up there, honestly, but that would be up there, not quite as severe. That's like the Sonics drop into the Nuggets. I mean, it's not that bad. It's not that severe, but it's close. It really is.
I'll give you in the same neighborhood, but I think it's a big neighborhood. It's not a small neighborhood. It's
one of those big neighborhoods you used to live in
Where? Renton Highlands.
Renton Highlands.
Yeah.
With the big cul-de-sac. I love a good cul-de-sac. You know what I miss about living in the city is not having a cul-de-sac. Great. Cul-de-sacs are great.
Nah, I'm not a big fan of cul-de-sacs, honestly.
You don't like them?
Nah, I'm a big fan of just looking out at woods and trees and
no people
for as far as the eye can see. But no, it's gonna be terrific, Puck. And I still think the Seahawks are gonna win, but boy, they're the Niners. They're the 49ers.
Yeah. I get it. I mean, I think they're going to win. Maybe it might not be as comfortable as we think, but it would be great if it was. It would really be nice for them just to really just bitch slap them down on the turf coming up tomorrow night. You enjoy yourself from the comforts of Bend, Oregon. Good luck with all your bets this weekend, and we will reconvene on Monday for another edition with Jimmy Moore.
Okay, Puck. Thanks for having me. Go Cougs.
All right, there you go, Cougs. Jim Moore with us Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, brought to you by A Clean Streak, Brotherton Cadillac, and the Angry Beaver. Every Friday, we catch up with Bob Condotta, the last word with Bobby C. We give him the last word because he's the dean of all Seahawk reporters. His weekly appearance is brought to you by Georgetown Brewery.
Drink Georgetown Tavern Beer, your new locally brewed domestic-style lager. 4.2% alcohol. Cheap, good, local.
Prepare while your team is You're not always going to win, but they're going to play hard, and they're going to go out there and give good performance. You can live with that.
Today we're going to talk about our next opponent.
Chuck Knox brings us in. It's another edition of The Last Word with the great Bob Condotta of the Seattle Times. Hey, kiddos, go get your fingers dirty with some print. Get yourself a hard copy of the Seattle Times, or you can also get a subscription at theseattletimes.com. Bob is with us every Friday. The Last Word. It's all brought to you by Georgetown Brewery, makers of Annie's Pale Ale, Bodie's Zaffa IPA, Rogers Pilsner, and their new Tavern Beer Tasting Room and Beer Garden open 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Go visit them at georgetownbeer.com. Well, let's start with the big news, and that would be Sam Darnold. It threw, I think, the NFL world, at least, and then all the fans here locally, into a tizzy yesterday that he was on the injury report listed as questionable. What's the latest, Bob? Set us straight.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know a whole lot more this morning than from yesterday, but yeah, it was interesting. So yesterday was Darnold's scheduled day to talk to the media, and it was basically a Friday practice kind of thing. Almost nobody ever gets hurt on a Friday practice. But we were out there before practice, and probably everybody saw it. We all kind of shoot little videos of what little we're allowed to shoot before practice, and we were all standing there. And Darnold ran by us as always, and headed out to practice, and we saw him out there and everything. It was about 90 minutes later. We were kind of waiting. We were going to get Darnold and the two coordinators was sort of the schedule for the day. Their typical kind of Thursday kind of day for media, but it's kind of Friday for them because they're playing on Saturday, if that makes sense in terms of what they're doing work wise. Anyway, and then right before we're standing out there right before we're supposed to get them, one of their PR guys comes over and reads us the injury report, and that was the first anybody knew about it. So then a little while later, Darnold, we weren't sure if he was going to come talk or whatever, but then he did. So it was kind of his scheduled day to talk, and he did come out and talk. And I'm sure everybody read his quotes, and where he said, very low percentage or whatever that he doesn't play, and said 5 or 6 different times he expects to play and feels confident he'll play and all that. So, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see today. They will, again, because it's a different kind of week. There is some media that we'll hear from Mike McDonald later today. We don't usually hear from him on the day before a game. Usually, they play on Sunday, and our last time we hear anything from the Seahawks is on Friday. But they don't have to do an injury report today, though, because of the way the week works. So they don't officially have to say anything, but it'll be, interesting to see what he says and if he does. Obliques can be kind of, different. Sometimes it could be one of those things where he felt a little twang today, and maybe it's worse yesterday, and maybe it's worse today. Sometimes it can go the other way, though. Maybe he just felt a little thing, and it was since it was just a Friday practice they were doing. Hey, don't do anything more. We're kind of done with the week at this point anyway, and just rest it. So we'll see. But my gut reaction is it's not a big deal, and he'll play and all that. I mean, just kind of given the way he was reacting. Again, I think part of the deal with the way the Seahawks handled it somewhat is, the NFL is getting touchier than ever on injury stuff. And, if you don't practice, the literal definition of the thing is if you don't practice one snap fewer than you usually do, then you're supposed to be listed as limited in practice. And, and then they have to list you as something, oftentimes they have to list you as something on that game status report and things like that. But especially when they had very little time to kind of put this together. So Darnold came out and talked to us and kind of acted like it was no big deal. At the moment, I'm going to kind of take him at his word for that and kind of think that he's probably okay and that he's going to play. Just to ease people's worry, as I understand it, right, and you kind of touched on it, even if he were to take one less snap the other day, right, even one less than his normal snaps, they would have to list him as questionable? Basically, I mean, essentially, yes. I mean, maybe I'm being a little too literal on that, but it is basically that if you do anything different than what you normally do in practice, then that's when they list you as limited. Or the fact that he talked... That's why you see like the rest days for guys on there all the time. If they do, if it's like, well, let's just kind of like Jackson Smith and Jigba's been on there a lot lately. So it's like, let's just kind of give him a rest day. Then they got to put him on there and do all that. And, this really became a thing again because of what happened with Baltimore and Lamar Jackson a couple months ago. And, around the league anyway. And so, I think maybe the newness of when it happened, they decided we got to go ahead and do that. We got to list him as something. and this is what we're going to do. So we'll see. They could revise the injury report today or the game status report. Sometimes they do that a day before a game, either positively or negatively. They can take a guy off, they can put a guy on, but they don't have to. By the way the rule works, they don't have to do anything on the day before a game once they've released the game status report. So, so we'll see. Like I say, Mike McDonald will be out there. We'll hear from him later and we'll find out if there's more, but we don't get any access to practice today since they're on what is their typical day before a game schedule. So we won't be able to see anything that way. But again, the way Darnold talked about it, I kind of, certainly kind of got the vibe that he's probably going to be okay.
Here's what reassured me yesterday after that whole news came out. One was him obviously going up there and talking to you guys. The line hasn't changed in Vegas.
Yeah.
Not one bit.
Well, maybe that shows they don't know. Yeah, they think it's more important that the defense plays and things like that. If all the defense were hurt, it would be a bigger deal.
Yeah, I think. Listen, if he comes out there and talks to you guys, and he said it himself. I mean, usually that's the indication that everything is okay. Now, what gets buried though, Bob, in the whole news on Sam Darnold, right, and everyone freaking out. Oh my God, he's questionable. He's got an oblique injury. Is this injury that popped up this week with Charles Cross? What's this new knee injury with Cross? And is there a chance this keeps him out of the game on Saturday?
Yeah, well, they didn't. They didn't list him as out or anything like that. So yesterday's when they would have had to do that with everybody, not just Sam Darnold.
Okay,
so
but that could change today, though.
Oh, it could. Oh, yeah. But I'm not trying to set up that anything will happen. I am just saying, though, it can. I mean, every once in a while you see that where, if you're hanging around on Saturday, you'll see that the Seahawks have suddenly added this guy to the injury report. Like Jaron Reed, I think they did that with a month or two ago when it came out that he had the wrist injury, and they waited till the day before the game when they found that out. But certainly something we'll ask about today. We didn't get really an answer on that yesterday either because Mike McDonald did not talk, and he's kind of Clint Kubiak, if you watched him, he made it clear that he was going to leave all injury talk to McDonald. So we'll ask McDonald today about that. But it didn't sound like it was a big deal at all. Just given how they listing there, not of him. It sounded like they kind of expect that he's going to be okay to go.
All right, and anyone else that we should be worried about? Kobe Bryant's good. Yeah,
it sounded like it. Yeah, sounded like Kobe Bryant's okay, and they listed Josh Jones is out. I mean, that's if you wanted to worry about the tackle spot, Josh Jones being out. If something were wrong with Cross, then you start getting down to it would be Amari Kite, a rookie who's really only played a couple of snaps. They added him they signed him to the 53-man roster a few weeks ago. There are other things they could do maybe, but it sounds like they'd rather just stick a tackle in there. Like Jalen Sindel has played a lot of tackle before. You could move guys around and do that. Do something like that. But McDonald was asked a few weeks ago when it came up initially with Cross, who's your backup behind Jones, and he said Amari Kite. So I think that's why they've done that with him there. But no, otherwise they seem to be in pretty good health. It does sound like Kobe Bryant's expected back. Sound like Reek Woolen's okay. He had the thing he had earlier this week as well, but he wasn't on the listing yesterday. So typically that's, I think they were probably being a little cautious this week, again, kind of being a shorter week, and that they also did practice a lot last week. They had 2 hard practices last week. So they didn't know they were playing the 49ers, but they did have practices where they were going over stuff in general. So I think some of the listings this week maybe might have been out of some caution as well.
And you're going to get all these updates to all of your questions later today at the Seattle Times, seattletimes.com, your one news source for everything Seattle Seahawks, and of course from Bob Condotta. Obviously, all sports are games of adjustments, right? And so there's going to be adjustments on both sides from week 18 now to this game coming up on Saturday, just 2 weeks apart. I would assume San Francisco is going to throw out something different. Maybe Seattle does or does not. Maybe they just go with the same game plan they had the first time around. You get any idea, any thoughts of what they are expecting maybe San Francisco to try and do differently?
What I think they would expect San Francisco might try to do differently on defense is be a little bit more aggressive. I think in the game a couple weeks ago, San Francisco was played and San Francisco's shifted a little bit as the game went through. But in general, I think I think they were kind of trying to take away the deep pass a little bit and things like that. And they were playing fairly conservatively on defense. It felt like the 49ers were. I think they only blitzed 6 times according to Pro Football References chartings of it. And I think think they were daring the Seahawks a little bit. Could they beat them with their running game and all that? But if you're the 49ers, you also look, and the Seahawks only scored 13 points. So they might have felt like their defensive strategy was working. But I do think they might want to try to, especially if Sam Darnold, if they think he's banged up at all, make him have to make plays this time around. So try to get pressure on him. Yeah. We'll maybe blitz a little more, and we'll take our chances a little bit, and we'll try to put the ball, Sam Darnold's hands a little bit more, because Sam barely, I don't think he had a pass that the air yards were more than 20 yards in that game.
Right.
They weren't throwing it deep at all. And that, it was a lot of, just as Sam said after the game, just kind of taking what the defense gave me and all that. So I think if you're the 49ers, you might try to go the other way. Look, this guy led the NFL in turnovers this year. Yeah. Let's put some heat on him. And maybe he sees Smith and Jigba 40 yards open downfield, but maybe we can get to him first and force him to fumble. So I think defensively that makes some sense.
Yeah, I think this is Jim Lambright. We're putting 9 guys at the line and we're coming after you. Yeah. I just, because if I'm San Francisco and Robert Saleh, Bob, what do you have, and Kyle Shanahan for that matter, on the other side, what do you have to lose? No one expected you to be here anyways with all the injuries. So cut it loose. He's a guy like most quarterbacks, but it does feel like this is really can be Darnold's kryptonite with a lot of pressure in his face, and get him to throw it like an interception. It's a game-changing turnover. Then you never know what happens. Yeah, I'm kind of on board with you that they are going to be ultra aggressive defensively on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. And, offensively, it's really interesting. I mean, the 49ers sort of look like themselves again. If you watch the Eagles game, back to putting up almost 400 yards, I think, and having the two big drives there in the fourth quarter, even after George Kittle was out, and that's a really, general. I know the Eagles haven't been the same team this year, but still a good defense and on the road and stuff like that, So it'll be interesting to see there, because I got the feeling in that first game, Shanahan sort of just ran his offense and probably was stunned that it wasn't working at all, given the way they had ended the season. So it'll be interesting to see if he really tries to, it's interesting because they have their offense is so well defined. What would you do differently other than run what they run kind of thing? Yeah. But I think from a philosophical standpoint, I'm sure they're going to try to get Christian McCaffrey going. I think he only had 23 yards in the game 2 weeks ago. I mean, just try to establish that, do what they can to get him back. And they'll have Trent Williams back. And, so how big a difference can that make? He's 37 years old, but I think Pro Football Focus rated him the best run blocking tackle, at the end of the year. He had the best grade as a run blocking offensive tackle this year. So, probably maybe just kind of, try to do that and see if they can get that going a little bit. And it is interesting, as you say, the whole, it's kind of a rare time in this series for quite a while where it does feel like the Seahawks are really the prohibitive favorite to win this game. There's been a lot of games that have been the other way. Yeah. I know the Seahawks were favored a couple weeks ago, so it's not like the Seahawks can't win as favorites against these guys, but this time they're really favorites and they are at home, and they're kind of the team that's perceived as if they lost this, that's, wow, they really blew an opportunity. Whereas it's 49ers, it's just man, it's crazy they're still here. It will be interesting to see. I never know how much that psychological stuff matters, especially when it comes to the NFL. But certainly maybe it can a little bit, and especially like you say from the coaching standpoint. You saw the 49ers pull off a trick play to, in the Eagles game, the Juwan Jennings pass and all that, and maybe Shanahan really tries to pull some stuff out there. I do think the first quarter is going to be really interesting because there's always been the myth of Shanahan's scripted first 15, 20 plays, whatever it is, and that the 49ers always come out guns a-blazing. They did, against the Eagles, scored early, that they always come out first series. It takes opponents a little while to figure out what the 49ers are doing, or just Shanahan, he drills these plays that they just execute them so well that it always works. We've seen that a lot in the Seahawks games the last few years, where the 49ers are just moving up and down the field the first few series, and it's always a matter of if you can at least hold them to field goals or force a turnover or something, but a lot of times it's hard to stop them, and then the game kind of evens out a little bit in the second quarter. And it'll be interesting to see if that happens again, and if it does, the Seahawks are going to have to hold try to obviously make it field goals instead of touchdowns.
Yeah, and I think I think psychological element in sports is a powerful thing. I do. I just think that when you've got one team or one player that's, boxed into a corner and told you don't have a shot this game, I just think you get lesser players to kind of rise to the occasion, make something happen in a game you didn't think that they were going to do. And I think when the other side is you're the number one seed, you're the top team, everyone in the world is expecting Seattle to beat San Francisco on Saturday. And not only beat him, but, kind of handle him a little bit. And I know the players will never say that, and they'll never acknowledge that they understand that or all of that stuff. That I believe that's a lie. They understand what San Francisco is right now health-wise, and they know their position. And they know if they lose this game, it's a disappointment. Despite the season being a success, they're the number 1 seed. They should win this game. I don't think anybody's expecting them or demanding that they win the championship game, but I think the divisional game against the team that is pretty wounded that you handled the last time out, if they were to lose a Saturday, would be a colossal miss for this organization because everything's setting up for them really good right now. This is a great path for them to get back. And so, I think there's going to be a lot to that. I think you're going to probably have San Francisco play above their weight a little bit. And then how long does that last? Usually that lasts like a quarter or two. You just said it. And then maybe it wears off in the second half. I don't know who brought this up to me, but I thought it was a good comparison of the game a couple years ago, I think in the wild card round. It was Purdy's first start. It was very competitive in the first half. And then San Francisco, who was clearly the better team, pulled away in the second half and won it pretty comfortably. I guess I could see it shaking out like that again.
Yeah, I mean, if I recall right, the Seahawks led at halftime, and they scored right before the half, and I think they led. And then the 49ers ended up winning that game 41-23, just kind of really ran away with it. There was actually the weird kind of the illegal man downfield was at that game where the Seahawks there was the weird weird sequence where they kind of blew it, getting a touchdown, and then it really got away from them. But with Damian Lewis, I think. But it's for sure. It's what's interesting about that's a good comparison, but this is also a San Francisco team where an awful lot of these guys just played in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. So you do have a team that, has a lot of veterans who've been through a lot of things, played in a lot of big games, yet they also come into this one as kind of this huge underdog by NFL points, playoff point spread standings anyway. 7.5 is kind of a lot of points for a playoff game for sure. I would imagine, I know Kyle Shanahan kind of has a reputation for not playing that kind of, like he's very practical minded and kind of like Mike McDonald, very kind of process oriented, and it's about what we do and stuff like that. But sure. I can imagine that maybe he's brought that up a little bit, and kind of the way that the Seahawks beat them so easily down there a couple weeks ago, and try to appeal to their pride and all that in those kind of ways. So it will be interesting to see. I do think this is one game where how the game starts, I think, is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait. We'll wait for your predictions in the paper, or will you give us a sneak preview on a Friday?
No, I think it's already online, actually, this time, since the way...
Can we hold that off? For someone who likes to open up the paper on Sunday and to see you and Varel and Calkins and Booth with the pictures and the predictions... I don't want it on Friday. I don't want to read it online. I want to wait till I open up the paper. Can we talk to Paul over there and get that done, please?
Yeah. Well, the game being on Saturday, so our schedule with everything has been all different all week. So, so I think it's online today. So no, I'm picking the Seahawks to win. And I've forgotten the exact score I picked. I know I batted around a couple of different scores. I know I should know that, but I picked them by more than the spread. I do kind of think that they're gonna, I think ultimately I think the Seahawks are playing really well right now in general. I know their offensive game in the first game wasn't super smooth, and Jason Myers' field goals and things like that, but they still did win by 10 points, even if it was, scoring only 13 to do that. But I just think at home and with everything, and, if one more Niner gets hurt or something, key guy gets hurt in this game, I mean, that could be really be kind of what breaks their back. I do think the Seahawks are going to win. I think this is just kind of well positioned, and I think to me anyway, they've sort of proven a little bit is the stage going to be too big for them or whatever. I mean, the 49er game, was a really big stage, and basically from the moment I think they won the Vikings game, right, that they took over ownership of the first seed, every game from that point on was a really big game in terms of if you lose this, you might lose control of the 1 seed, and so those all kind of felt like playoff games, and I know a lot of them weren't super smooth. I mean, they had to come back to beat the Colts, come back to beat the Rams, but they did ultimately do the things they needed to do to win those games and hang on to it. So I think they've kind of proven themselves in that light as well.
And who is coming to town a week from?
I still think it'll be the Rams. I know they looked sort of vulnerable against Carolina. I don't know if there's something weird about the matchup with Carolina, because both games they played with Carolina this year were obviously close and high scoring and things like that. I just think that I've just felt the Rams all year long long have been the other two best teams I've thought over the last 2 months, especially in the NFC, have been the Rams and the Seahawks. And I've just sort of I've felt they're on a collision course. And I know the Rams looked a little shakier last week than you might have thought, but I still think that's kind of what's fated to happen is Rams Seahawks here next week.
Folks, the last word with Bob Condotta in the book. Seattle Times, seattletimes.com. Go get a hard copy. It's fun. You can follow him on social media at B Condotta. Weekly appearance brought to you by Georgetown Brewery, makers of Manny's Pale Ale, Bodie's Offer, Rogers Pilsner, and their new Tavern Beer Tasting Room and Beer Garden, open daily, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Visit georgetownbeer.com. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it as always, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Jason.
Drink Georgetown Tavern Beer, your new locally brewed domestic-style lager. 4.2% alcohol. Cheap, good, local.
Yeah, well, I had somebody on the chat there on YouTube say, God, this game is making me nervous. You can always leave comments, questions in the YouTube chat. How you feeling about this game coming up this weekend? And I think there has to be a level of nervousness because, A, it's the playoffs. Things happen weird. The ball bounces weird, and all of a sudden you're out. It's the 49ers, so that's another element to it. Are you the better team? Obviously you are. On paper, on everything. But again, teams like San Francisco with a championship pedigree and guys that have been there in the biggest games and the biggest stages with their head coach, they can play above their weight. We've said that several times. We've said that all week long. That would be the one thing, not a schematic thing, not a Brock Purdy thing, not a Christian McCaffrey thing. It's the whole, it's the sum of a whole being able to play above themselves and giving Seattle, a game. And if the later that contest goes and the later you get into the fourth quarter, and it's tight, you're the favorite. You'll just get tighter. That's what kind of happens, right? The underdog plays fast and loose. The favorites play a little bit tighter. Big thanks to Bob Condotta. Again, every Friday, the last word. Of course, be a part of the Daily Puck Drop up on YouTube and then all podcast platforms. Also, we separate Bob's visit with us, so his standalone segment is up on YouTube there as well. Speaking of shows that we've had this week as well, we talked a lot about signing up to be a Pucks Posse member. It's just $5 a month. It gives you access to everything that we do here, the free daily content plus bonus shows of this week. We give you a lot of stuff. Actually, I don't know how many of you keep up with all of it. You probably don't, but we do give you a lot of bonus shows and free content throughout the week, by the way. We got the Sports Pit is out with myself, Matt Stretch Johnson. That comes out on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, Inside Pitch with Ryan Divish, talking Mariners. We did a lot of chatter on Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker ends up going to the freaking Dodgers. What was it for? What was the deal? Was it 4 years, 240? Good God. Go look at the Dodgers lineup now. Just where's the hole? There are no holes. And then yesterday we do KJ Arntz every Thursday with Mitch Levy. So if you sign up to become a Pucks Posse member, it's the way to support what we do here daily Puck Drop. Plus we give you bonus shows throughout the week, and we're going to add to that arsenal coming up very, very soon. Before we get to Hey, What the Puck, on this day in the world of sports and just events and birthdays, all of it, we try to find some things that happen on this day. It's all brought to you by Hive Social. That's HYV Social. Hive Social is the new kind of meeting place for Puck Sports. Brand new website, brand new social media platform. You can check them out. They got a great new website. They've also got a great app as well. I'll tell you about it here in just a quick second. It's the official Meetup Sports app for Puck Sports Media and Puck Sports everything. Made in Seattle by a fellow Coug. So go Coug. So you know it's going to be great. Hive Social brings people together in real life. You can download the Hive Social app today on iOS and Google Play. It is free. That is HYV Social. You can connect with us, our Pucks Posse, sports fans. It's like Snapchat meets LinkedIn, but better. All right, that's what it's like. It's a place for adults to connect and sports fans and anyone and everyone, but it's great for sports fans. You want to know where everyone's watching the Seahawks game tomorrow, where they're going to be at pregame, where they're going to be at postgame. You can discover nearby events, meet new people. You can chat instantly. You can organize groups. You can organize watch parties. You can stay connected real time, watching and kind of following along with people nearby and away during the Seahawks game tomorrow. The official sports meetup app for Puck Sports. Download Hive Social today. Proud sponsors of On This Day, which is kind of a busy day with some sports news and non-sports news on this day in the world of sports and events. January 16th. How about 1493? Yeah, we're going all the way back to there. Columbus left the New World. He headed back to Spain. He saw everything he wanted. He said, I'm out. Going back. He first landed in the Bahamas. He also visited Cuba as well. He would go on to have 3 more voyages back to the New World, with his 4th and final one happening in 1504. 2 years later, he would pass away in Spain. On this day, January 16th, 1919, the 18th Amendment, U.S. Constitution, authorizing the prohibition of alcohol. It goes into effect. It's ratified by all majority of the U.S. states. Prohibition would last until 1933. The Great Depression led to the repeal. They're like, listen, shit's hard. We need a little booze. So let us have booze back. The repeal of the 18th Amendment with the 21st Amendment happening. But on this day, Prohibition started the amendment went through 1919. It would start in 1920. 1960, in the sports world, Gordie Howe scores a goal, adds an assist in his 888th career game. He becomes the NHL's all-time leading scorer, later passed by Wayne Gretzky, who was later passed recently by Alex Ovechkin. Big happy birthday. Speaking of baseball, and the Mariners, a couple of weeks away of spring training getting underway. Senor Smoke, happy birthday to our closer, Andres Munoz. Turns 27 today. What a great trade that was with the Padres. ERA of 2.43, 78 saves, acquired by the M's in a trade with the Padres back in 2020. All of that happening on this day, January 16th. And again, on this day, brought to you by Hive Social, the official sports meetup app for Puck Sports. Download it today in your iOS store and Google Play. Hey, What the Puck is brought to you by Restoration One, your restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage. Make them your first stop, your first call when any of those issues happen to your commercial or residential property. Restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Simply put, it is a must-win tomorrow for Seattle. They cannot afford to lose that game. We can get ahead of ourselves and talk about the NFC Championship game and say, all right, we'll give them a pass on that one. No one thought they would be here. A lot of people thought they wouldn't be in the divisional round. They got 14 wins, the number 1 seed. They're playing a team that's banged up, a team that they dominated a couple of weeks ago. They lose tomorrow. I mean, that's one of the worst losses. It would be. And I know it sounds mean and cruel and to say that, but it would be. I mean, that's why they're 7-point favorites in the game. They got no business losing to that team tomorrow. So how they react and how they come out, and I thought Bob Condotta nailed it, how they come out in that first quarter and play it, and will give, I think, a lot of indication how ultimately the game will go. And Bob was right. They've answered every call since taking over the number 1 spot, and they've met new challenges. And that last time they played them, they went right down on the field on them. Now, it didn't end in a touchdown. Should have. But they proved in that last game that we're here, we mean business. They got to have a similar type of drive, a similar start coming up tomorrow night. Just don't let this team hang around. The longer they hang around, the more confidence they get. Try to bury them early. That's Hey, What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. Go visit their website, restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Big thanks to everybody watching and listening today and throughout the week. God, we love doing this. Thank you for the support. It's so much fun to see how many people jump on here, whether you watch on YouTube Live or on Twitter or listen on the Puck Sports mobile app or watch and listen to it later on YouTube and then Apple or Spotify or whatever podcast platform you use. It's just great. And this is a great time of year with the Seahawks and this great run. It's so much fun when your team's in it and playing for something. And it's so fun to come off what the Mariners did. And now we go right into the Seahawks And then hopefully this ends with a Super Bowl. Then we're going to right into baseball. And it's fantastic. It's just great. What a great time of year. Big thanks to everybody, though. And big thanks to our sponsors, Limbeck Lumber, Georgetown Brewery, Flat Stick Pub, all of our advertisers, Hive Social, Restoration One. Did I miss anybody? Georgetown. Big thanks to gym sponsors who joins us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Clean Streak, Brotherton Cadillac, and Angry Beaver. Today's Daily Puck Drop. Again, find it on YouTube. When you're there, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. You may watch it, but don't subscribe. But hit that subscribe button. Like it. Leave a comment. Who's going to win? What worries about the Seahawks game this weekend? We try to get to as many comments as we possibly can. Speaking of YouTube, we put a bunch of stuff up there. We separate all of our interviews, so you'll have Bob Condotta just by himself up there, just like you have with Dugar and Mike Garofolo, and all of our regulars are up there. We separate them from the Daily Puck Drop if you just want to watch those interviews. Also, the latest Old Crimson podcast is up there, where we just rant and rave for YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube. If you want to just listen to it, you have to go to the Puck's Posse page and sign up there to get the audio version of it. All right. Also find the Daily Puck Drop on Apple and Spotify and all your podcast platforms. And again, go to PuckSports.com. Sign up to become a Puck's Posse member. We mentioned all the bonus shows that you get throughout the week. Also on Mondays, the Graz with Gas Take 5 podcast, which it's not gonna come out on Monday because it's National Championship game. They're gonna drop it Tuesday because Gas will be there watching the Hoosiers. All right, big thank you again. Thanks for all the support, for everything. You've been along this ride for the last 2+ years, but this week it's fun. Go Hawks! Can't wait to see how they come out tomorrow and take out the 49ers, and then we got a whole week setting up for the NFC Championship game. Fingers crossed. We'll talk to you on Monday. As always, we promise to be better.
No shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you, but you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!